Hey everybody, welcome back to another comparison video. I have in front of you here on the left hand side an Amazon Kindle Fire HD6 released here in 2014, and on the right hand side I have a 2012 Nexus 7. Now, why compare 2012 Nexus 7 versus a 2014 Kindle Fire HD6? Well, the reason for that is that both tablets can still be purchased for roughly $100, so that puts them in roughly about the same price point. In addition to that, the specs are very similar in terms of the screen resolution as well as the screen size. The obvious difference here is that the Nexus 7 has a 7-inch screen and the HD6 has a 6-inch screen. But other than that, if you're looking for a tablet for around $100, then you might be looking at these two tablets. So let's have a look at the exterior of both devices here. We'll start off with the Kindle Fire HD6. On the left hand side of the Kindle Fire, it's completely blank here. We don't have any buttons or anything. On the back of the Kindle Fire, we have the Amazon logo, very large. A camera, a rear-facing camera on the top left-hand side, and on the bottom here we have a speaker. The bottom of the Kindle Fire is completely blank, and on the right-hand side of the device we have your volume rocker, and at the top here we have your 3.5mm headphone jack, we have a microphone, your USB charging, and your on-off switch. On the front of the device, if you can see it in the lighting here, we have a front-facing camera as well. Alright, let's have a look at the exterior of the Nexus 7 2012 edition. On the left-hand side, we have the volume rocker as well as the power button. On the back of the device, we have the Nexus logo and a single speaker on the bottom here. There is no rear-facing camera like there is on the Kindle Fire HD6. On the bottom of the device, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack as well as your USB charging port. And on the right hand side of the Nexus, there's absolutely nothing. There is a charging for if you had purchased the Nexus docking station, but we don't have that with us. And on the top of the Nexus, there's absolutely nothing. There is a microphone here on the bottom here, and another microphone over here as well, or what looks like a microphone. On the front of the Nexus 7, we also have a front-facing camera, which is the only camera on the device. So let's compare these two devices. In order to compare these two devices fairly, we're going to need to look at them in two categories. The first category being a device as a tablet, and the second category being the device as an e-reader. So let's look at these devices as tablets. The HD6 here is an Android tablet, like I said earlier, that's running on Android 4.4.4, which is KitKat. Now, Amazon has definitely taken this tablet and it's modified the Android OS to suit its own purposes. So first, as this is, it is an e-reader, so it's focused the Android OS on being an e-reader as well as promoting the Amazon ecosystem. So what you're going to see here is a lot of Amazon things that are directed at promoting Amazon sales. For example, look at their lock screen, you can buy apps. It gives you ads there. And because they're trying to focus so heavily on promoting the Amazon ecosystem, what they've also done is they've gone ahead and removed a lot of the standard Google apps that you would find in Android. For example, one of them would be the Google Play Store here. You will definitely not find the Play Store on your Kindle. What you will find is that if you do want to purchase apps, you're going to have to go through Amazon's App Store. So for those of you who are, invested in the Google ecosystem, who use Gmail, who use the Google search, you use the Google Maps, you're not going to find those on the Kindle Fire HD6. There is a way, I believe, to sideload those applications onto your device, but that's something that we can talk about later. Right now, we're just looking at these devices as they come out of the box. So definitely, the Kindle Fire as a tablet it can be used as a tablet, but it's heavily invested and it's really directed at promoting the Amazon ecosystem. So in terms of apps, there may be some apps that you find on the Google. I've noticed actually that there are some apps that you can find on the Google Play Store that you may not be able to find on the Amazon App Store. Likewise, there are some apps that I've found on the Amazon Store that I can't find on the Google Play Store. So That's something to keep in mind when you're looking at both of these devices, is the application ecosystem. So let's look at the hardware here of the HD6. Now the HD6 here being a 6-inch tablet versus the Nexus 7 being a 7-inch tablet, you would kind of expect that the larger tablet would be heavier. However, the first thing I noticed when I took the HD6 out of the box was the weight that you had to the tablet, which really surprised me because it's smaller than the Nexus 7, but it feels more robust and more beefy and a little bit heavier, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. Let's look at the screens of the two devices here. On the HD6, I do like the screen more than the Nexus 7 for the purposes of reading. And the reason for that is that the HD6 has a warmer screen, whereas the Nexus 7 has a cooler screen. So what does that mean? Well, a warmer screen is a little bit more red, while a cooler screen is a little bit more blue. Let me show you an example here. So let's look at an actual book. So pull up a book here. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see it in the video here, but in person here, the screen of the HD7 is a little more warm and like I said, it's cooler on the Nexus 7 here. So what does that mean? Well, when I'm reading here, because the screen is warmer, I find that my eyes get less tired. So I can read for longer periods of time, and I don't feel as fatigued as I would on the Nexus 7 here, which is something that's pretty important. And again, that was most likely done on purpose by Amazon because this is directed as an e-reading device, whereas the Nexus 7 is directed more as just a general tablet. Both devices, like I said, they do have a speaker on the back here. It is a single speaker, but let's go ahead and let's hear the difference between these speakers. So I found that the Nexus 7 did seem a lot louder. However, the HD6 had a little more bass to it. So you hear the midtones and a little bit more bass. So let's play an example here. Okay, so that was the Nexus 7, and let's look at the HD6 here. These are both on full volume. So as you can hear there, on the Nexus 7, the volume does seem a lot louder than the HD6. You'll also notice that on the Nexus 7, I'm able to use the YouTube app, whereas on the HD6, I actually had to go to the YouTube mobile website because, like I said earlier, the HD6 has, Amazon has removed almost all of the, as far as I know, they've removed all of the Google integrated apps, and YouTube is one of those. That might be important if you're looking at YouTube pretty often. Now let's look at the HD6 as an e-reader. This is definitely where the Kindle shines. As I mentioned earlier, Amazon has developed this device and the software specifically for the purposes of having this as an e-reader. So what you end up with is, on the Kindle, you end up with an e-reader which happens to have the capabilities of a tablet. But the main focus of the Kindle here is being an e-reader. Whereas when you look at the Nexus 7 here, the Nexus 7 is developed as a tablet, a multi-function, a multi-purpose device, but through apps has the ability to read ebooks. So let's look at opening ebooks on both devices here. On the Kindle, because like I said, it is directed at being a e-reader, all your books that you purchase or that you could purchase show up right here on your home screen. In addition to that, this is a book that was purchased, but underneath you even have suggestions based on themes and based on authors. So if you want to open up your book, you just click on it and it should load and open. Whereas on the Nexus 7 here, if you want to read your ebook, you'll have to go to the Kindle app and press that and open it there. So right away, what you see here is definitely the screen size makes a difference. However, because they're both Kindle apps, they both function very similarly. So what would be different about the HD6 over the Nexus 7? There's got to be something different, otherwise no one's going to buy the Kindle. They'll just buy a tablet and download the Kindle application. So what you receive on the Kindle versus the Nexus 7 are some exclusive features. One of those exclusive features that the HD6 has is a text-to-read functionality. So what is that? Basically, all Kindles are able to, sorry, not all Kindles, but the HD6 here is able to read back to you what's displayed on the page. So, you know, if you're trying to multitask, if your eyes are tired and you just don't feel like reading anymore, you can pull up the text-to-speech function. Let's have a listen to this.
The top 5 reasons. Elmer Wheeler, famed sell the sizzle, not the steak salesman and author.
So it does come out a little bit robotic, but the nice thing about this is it is customizable. You can have the voice, the HD6, the playback speed, you can increase it, you can slow it down to suit your preferences. I prefer it being a little bit faster, so this is how we would speed it up.
Psychological, in his book, Tested Salesmanship. These 5 hot buttons are still trans-induced.
Probably not that fast, but you are able to increase the text-to-speech function, whereas on the Nexus 6 here, you don't have that functionality whatsoever. Another software functionality that I found on the Kindle exclusively, which I did not find on the Kindle app, was the integration with Wikipedia, which I thought was really cool. So if I highlight this here, the word approval, what the HD6 does, it automatically connects to Wikipedia and it looks for references to the word approval. So if I click on that, it's going to approval ratings. But let's look at and there we go. Now we have a definition of approval based on what's found in Wikipedia. Now, if we look at the Nexus 7 here, it does not automatically connect to Wikipedia. What it does is it tries to find a definition online based on a dictionary. So let's try and find another word here, scientist. And it'll just give you the definition of scientist. It doesn't mention here that it comes from Wikipedia or anything like that, but if we click on the full definition, what it does is it brings us to, we're still in the Kindle app here, but it brings us to the Kindle Oxford Dictionary. So that's a little bit of functionality that you might be interested in knowing about if you're purchasing both devices and you're wondering which would be a better e-reader. The HD6 has a text-to-speech functionality as well as integration with Wikipedia, whereas the Nexus 7 does not have that functionality and it still retains a dictionary. So let's look at the Nexus 7 as a tablet. As a tablet here, the Nexus 7 is running pure Android 4.4.4, which is KitKat here. And what you get in the Nexus 7 in terms of applications that you don't get with the HD6 is the integration with Google. And that means your Google Play Store, Google Maps, Google Chrome, things like that. You're going to get that with the Nexus 7, which you won't get with the HD6. In fact, with the HD6, the browser that you get is something called the Silk browser. And because Amazon has taken out pretty much everything Google related, your search is not going to be Google. You're going to be searching through Bing. So that might be important for some of you who, like the Google search versus the Bing search. The other thing that you're going to be missing in the HD6 versus the Nexus 7 is the Google voice search, which can be very practical and very handy, especially if you don't have hands-free and you just want to search using audio. Now, the HD6 does have audio search. However, I find it to be a little bit slow compared to the Nexus 7. Let's run a test here. Let me just turn the volume down. So there is a voice search here. What's the tallest building in the world?
Tallest buildings in the world include Burj Khalifa at 828 meters, Shanghai Tower at 631.85 meters, and Makkah Royal Plaza.
Okay, so that'll explain everything to you. Whereas on the HD6 here, it just entered in my voice search, and now I have to actually hit enter in order for it to search up what I was looking for, and I have to hit go there, and then it'll use the Bing search to look at the tallest building in the world. Overall, I find that the Nexus 7 is a more general device. It's better as a general use device. You can check your mail, you have your applications, you have your games, which you also have on the HD6, but it feels like the Nexus 7 is meant for as an everything device, whereas the HD6 is definitely directed at an e-reading market. So overall, with the Nexus 7, it's definitely a more general device with the capabilities to read ebooks, whereas the HD6 is more of an e-reader with the capabilities of a general tablet. So let's look at the Nexus 7 as an e-reader. The Nexus 7 as an e-reader really just it relies on applications that you download to use the tablet as an e-reader. In this case, we have the Amazon Kindle. So we open up the Kindle app, and there we go. We have our books. You have the same basic functionality as you would in the Kindle here. You're able to sync books, the last page that you read. So let's say you're reading on your computer, and then you decide to go over to your tablet and you want to continue reading that book. This will automatically sync and say, hey, you know what? The last page you were on was page 10. Do you want to jump there right now? You have your other integrated functionality. Any books that you purchase on Amazon can automatically be downloaded to your Nexus device. You have your highlighting like you do in the Kindle here, so you can highlight text. Let's just hold my finger here. Come on. Okay, and you do that with the Kindle as well. So you have the ability to highlight a certain color. You have the ability to add notes. You can even copy the text. And like I said, on the HD6, you have your dictionary, which links to Wikipedia. But on the Kindle app here, you just have a regular dictionary. I believe it's the Oxford Dictionary. So you're not missing much in terms of the Nexus 7 being an e-reader. You are missing a couple of pieces of functionality, which is one, the text-to-speech functionality, and second there, the Wikipedia integration. So given that both tablets have a similar price range, they have similar specifications in terms of their screen resolution, in terms of their screen size, and even battery life, which device is best for you? Let's look at the HD6. If you're someone who's, you have another tablet, or you use your cell phone to do all of your media consumption, you don't use a lot of Google services, and really all you're looking for is an e-reader with, the added flexibility of being able to browse the internet, listen to music, and check email, then I think that the Kindle is a great device for you. So now let's look at the Nexus 7. The Nexus 7 here is more of a general purpose device. Like I said earlier, and like you heard, the speaker is louder, the screen is larger, and you have your integration with Google services. So if you're someone that, you want to be able to check your mail, you want to be able to look up something on Google Maps, or even use the Google voice search, I think that the Nexus 7 would be a good pick for you. I also feel like the Nexus 7 is more of a future-proof device. And the reason why I say that is this tablet is 2 years old, and it still has the most up-to-date Android OS at this point in time, which is KitKat 4.4.4. I believe there could be the potential for this to be upgraded to Android 5.0, which is Lollipop. Whereas on the HD6, the updates will have to come through Amazon. If Amazon decides that, hey, we need to update the Kindle here, they will push an update through. Updates come directly from Google on the Nexus 7. So that's something to keep in mind as well, because with new with new updates to the operating system, usually comes better performance, or they come with newer features and newer software. And that's something that you may be interested in. If you're not interested in that and you still just want an e-reader, then I think the HD6 is great for you. If you want a general purpose device, which may be a little more future-proof, which may have potentially a larger community of developers, then I think that the Nexus 7 is great for you. So if you like this video, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe because I'm going to be creating more videos all the time. If you have any questions about either device or which device will be better for you, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, or if you just have a comment that you feel that I might have missed out on, leave it in the comment section below. I'm always checking that. Thanks everybody, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.